Welcome back to the Discovery Series with SolarWinds. I'm head geek Leon Adato, and with me, once again, is the Technical Content Manager for Community. I will get that.
You will get it at some point. I still have trouble.
Yeah, Kevin Sparenberg.
Thank you very much, Leon.
Not a problem. All right. So I was giving a talk at DevOps Days a couple of years ago, and one of the things in my talk was about on-call and how to manage on-call. And after I was done, I got this really interesting comment. A guy came up, developer, a DevOpsy kind of guy.
DevOps Days, yeah.
I don't understand why on-call even exists anymore. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if there's a problem, you just have an automation routine that kills the instance that's going on, and then you rebuild the instance. So why do you need to have on-call? And I said, I haven't found a way to kill and rebuild an instance of my core router.
Yeah. There are things that will break, and it seems to be, and I think it comes from, it's a blind spot for a lot of the DevOps people because of the environment in which they work.
Yeah.
And we said, I think in one of our earlier videos, we talked about how there's a blind spot for sunk knowledge.
Right.
Servers will be up. Routers will exist. You told the story about your friend who you had to help him with his home network. And it's like, I don't need to worry about that. It's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
These things still happen.
Subnetting is still a thing.
Yes, it is.
Right. And I had to explain it. And once I explained it to him, he's like, oh, right. Like the data has to get some, but plumbing still exists.
Yes.
And so that was just sort of emblematic of, again, a blind spot that exists. I also think this is a problem for vendors. Because they've fallen into that same mentality of, our tools are cloud native or it's on-prem, and they failed to recognize the reality that the vast majority of companies are in this hybrid IT state where some of their assets, some of their compute workloads are still on premises, and some are in the cloud, and they do intercommunicate.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
Because let's be serious, one of the very first things you do when you talk about an organization getting ready to move to cloud, or even like dipping a toe in, the first thing you look at is like a SaaS solution.
Yes.
Where you buy into what cloud is selling, which is fantastic. I'm no longer worried about patching.
Yeah.
I no longer worry about hardware. I don't worry about warranties. All of that is someone else's problem.
Right.
And that's great. But if I'm responsible for Office 365, because I'm a mail admin, and that's what I've been doing for years.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's a mail problem. Does that mean I've just started to troubleshoot the internet?
Yes. Yes, you are now responsible for the entire
I have now
pipe.
become an internet troubleshooter.
Right, which is really hard to do. And I have said for a long time that in order to be successful in fixing problems as an IT person, there are three things that you need. You need to have responsibility, which you get as soon as you get hired.
Yep.
You have to have accountability, which you get when you pass within 3 feet of any particular service or system. And you need to have authority.
Yes.
And that's the thing that you fight for. Usually is, you want me to fix it, I have to have the ability to get on the system and make a change or whatever it is. But the problem is that Charter Communication has still failed to give me authority over their routers.
Yes, I am not allowed to see the MPLS configuration on the Juniper routers that are run by Verizon and XO Communications. I don't know why they won't let me see these.
It baffles me also, but that's the truth.
But if I have to troubleshoot that.
So there's a fourth thing that you can have, which is visibility.
Yes.
If you can see it, then you can affect change, or at least you can know what's going on. And so there's a way to do this. And I want to show you one particular tool. Doesn't matter which one it is. It just, I want to show you one way of looking at it. So to your point, here is, Office 365. Okay, and I'm looking at it from a particular device on my site, and I'm going all the way through. There's my DMARC, and there's Charter Communications, and I can see their environment. I'm going through a number
very
of
boring.
That is boring. All right, so this one, that's a little bit more
boring. That's an exciting network.
Yes, it is. So the internet is multipath, and here are some paths that I'm taking, and I can even see the transit time. So I can tell that I'm going, 3 milliseconds across this leg, and I can tell that 25% of my traffic is going that way versus this bottom path where another 25% is going. Okay, fine. And I can see that, but that's a 1 millisecond delay, and all the way through. And finally, I'm getting to the actual Microsoft network. Now, this is all the systems that my data is traversing right now.
From that location all the way to Office 365.
All the way through. And let's say that this device right here is causing a problem. I can get some more information on that. There is the name of the device or the IP address of the device. I can tell each of the interfaces. And let's say it is let's say that it was injecting some latency in there. This one happens to be fine, but let's say that there was. There's the phone number that I can call. So I can say, hey, your router named blah blah, interface number 3, is really slowing things down. Could you take a look at that? Now, what do you think the first reaction of the folks at Charter is going to be when you make that phone call?
The first reaction is, who are you? How did you get this number?
Right?
What did you put on my network?
I'm calling the FBI,
Yes.
you've hacked me, whatever. Actually, that's not what happens with this tool. This is like Tinder for network engineers. It's really like,
Yeah.
can I give you my cell phone number? Like, because they can't see this.
This is an excellent way to describe, especially if you deal with an MPLS network.
Yeah.
A lot of times those MPLS tunnels, the VPN-style tunnels, are set up, and they're set up completely from the outside. And that's done as a protection, as part of the service to you,
Yep.
where we will not have any of that traffic traverse any of our gear.
Right.
And the only way they have insight into that is when you call and tell them there's a problem.
Right, exactly. They can't see this, and therefore, this is really interesting for them. But ignoring their excitement about it, the fact is you can tell where in the path, and you can see that we had some problems down here off to the right at 12:42 p.m. And if I click there, I can actually go back in time, and I can see how my network was configured. Again, it's multipath.
It looks pretty green. We're all right there.
You know, it looks
Oh.
pretty, yeah, see, there were some problems on this device, which I can get the IP address, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it's within Microsoft, it's, you know, but when my users are calling and saying, there is a problem, I can see what it was doing 5 minutes ago, I can see what it was doing now, and I can explain what's going on, and I have the ability, if I can't, again, directly affect it, if I don't have the authority, at least I have the visibility of where things were going or what was happening.
Yeah.
And I think that that's critical when, you know, cloud is not just cloud. It's not just this thing off there.
It's not amorphous. It is your data.
Right.
Understand it, see where it's going, understand how you're working with it.
Right. So this is a start of digging into being able to monitor really end to end. We have multiple SolarWinds Lab episodes that go into this specific tool called NetPath, but also just the technique and the idea behind it. We also have white papers and ebooks. There's also obviously a Gorilla Guide on this, and we'll be talking more about cloud management monitoring in future installments of the Discovery series. So I hope that you'll join us.
Thanks so much.